Rita, William, and Sanjoy, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you for making it possible for me to be part of Jaipur Literature Festival on such extreme notice. My special thanks go to Mahesh Dutt, because it was him who came up with the idea of commemorating Roberto, who so often took part at JLF. If you allow me, I would like to begin my address with a little private memory. I met Roberto on the 13th October 1995. The day after he handed me over his latest book, still in manuscript form, asking to drop immediately my studies in philosophy and to translate the book from Italian into German. It was called Ka. I said, he asked me, but that is not quite correct. Roberto's requests were something else. Executive orders, put in a mild and occasionally formal way. The whole ceremony was solemn on one hand, but pretty fun on the other. One too easily forgets how funny Roberto could be. Anyway, saying those words, he laughed. But again, he was serious. Same with me. I laughed, but I was terribly serious. As my stepfather was main correspondent of the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung for Southeast Asia, since the age of 7 I was coming to India every year. I grew up reading German translations of parts of the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, but it was only by reading Ka that I fully penetrated the dense, arcane foliage of the gigantic tree that forms Indian mythology. Ka tells the stories of the mind and gods of India. On every single page, I made the acquaintance of gods until then unknown to me, as Prajapati or Rudra. I got to know the Ashwins, the Rishis, the beautiful theologist Gargi, and the wonderful free Rajas. I learned that the sun at first was a dead egg, Martanda. And I read about Saranyu, Sun's wife, who in her pain not to live near her beloved father, but on the side of the shapeless solar globe, who, by embracing her, would scorch her tender, opalescent skin, formed in her mind a simulacrum, identical to herself, called Chaya, shadow. Thus, Saranyu became the evoker of copies, and we've been beset by them ever since. Copies, shadows, and reflections have never stopped enchanting us. From the sketch of a buffalo on a Lascaux wall to the latest post on Instagram. When men lose their heart for a beloved, it's Saranyu they are seeking, but they embrace a copy. After forming Chaya, Saranyu left, and Manu, the creator of mankind, was born from Chaya. That's why men always go after simulacra. They are born of a simulacrum. That's why they are never sure if they really exist, and never will be. While translating Ka, I felt like the Ashwins after Dadyansh had explained them the doctrine of the honey. The world was the same as before. Nothing was the same as before. Every single page arose in me the awareness that for every one of us, in every moment of life, there's another life at hand, the real, the more adventurous life of mind. More than 3,500 years ago in India, in the ardor of thought, men and women found that through contemplation, through watchfulness, honor to he who contemplates attentively, says the sutra in the Apastamba Shravata, one can reach awakening. Saraswati is a word, and the word is the way of the gods, is written in the Jaininiya Brahmana. It is because of the words that such a wonderful event as the Jaipur Literature Festival that has welcomed Roberto and me many times can take place. Roberto loved the festival. He loved Jaipur and he loved India, the only corner of the planet that can change your mind, he said to me every time we boarded a plane for coming here. In his eyes, India was the most metaphysical country in the world. The country of Vach, the word, and the country of Manas, the mind. Only here, he said, did exist a place named Plaksha Prasravana, the furthest border of the word. It's because of the celebration of words that every year we all meet here. So let's celebrate them once again. Roberto would. He will be proud of us. Thank you very much.